Welcome back to Theta Log. You guys liked this last week, so I think we'll continue. Don't have too many updates, so try to keep it short and sweet. But you all saw that we decided to take a few more days to polish the product, like you know and love from what Premia offers. So we spent a few more days, did additional QA testing. But happy to say tomorrow we plan on opening deposits. Then we have an AMA on Arbitrum on Wednesday. And so hopefully you get any questions you may have during the AMA answered. And so afterwards you're free to deposit. And then the first auction will happen on Friday morning Eastern time. Now we've put up the vault audits on the community page for now until the full site goes live. And then also on the documentation page of Premia, we put some links to all the Knox documents. So feel free to read over those before the AMA to make sure that, if you have any additional questions, they can get resolved. In terms of updates, also on the community site, we put up a preliminary timeline. Now, look, it's a non-committal timeline. We wanted to provide some additional transparency. I saw in the Discord and on Twitter that there was different dates being thrown out there. Our expectation is still the end of Q1, beginning of Q2 to release V3. Now we might have to do it in a phased approach. So a big bang of releases and feature sets at the beginning, and then some of the additional feature sets, a few weeks after and a few weeks after. Obviously, this is going to be dependent on audits and development timelines, but wanted to provide some additional transparency in some of the other projects that we're working on outside of V3 at the same time. The plan is later today to do the liquidity migration from mainnet to Arbitrum 1. That's going to probably happen roughly around midnight UTC. So that's, I think, in maybe 3 hours or so, depending on when you're watching this, but that's the plan. Now, again, like I said, Knox documentation has been added to the doc site. Now, you may have saw that we put out the governance post last week, and we're going to continue to post additional content, reaching out to different users in the DeFi space, not just specifically options traders, and then bringing it all together through a biweekly or monthly newsletter. One thing I wanted to ask the community is, what would your preferred method to receive that newsletter be? Would you like something like Substack or Beehive or potentially even Mirror to deliver it directly into your inbox, or keep it as Medium and as an opt-in? There are some additional things that we want to do that I see that there can be a future in. Some of it will all be opt-in, but I think that we can do some customized content based on your utilization of the protocol, right? So if you're a trader or if you're a liquidity provider, those are two different segments of users, and so maybe we can provide different custom content to you based on email address and wallet combos. Again, this would be an opt-in service for you, but I think that we can better tailor to the users that we have. You can see that DeFi Llama was updated. I would recommend that you use the fees page if you're going to look at some of the new stats. The fees page is updated, it looks correctly. They're making some changes on the actual options domain page, and they haven't replayed the data there yet. So however our numbers going forward should be correct there. I think that they have some mapping issues that they're working out since they're fine-tuning that a little bit. So recommend using the fees page if you're going to do that. And now the next thing we're working through is the token terminal requirements this week to onboard us to token terminal. And then you may have seen Perry, who was a commissioned artist that we had do some profile pictures for us as a Christmas gift to some of the team, or to all the team rather. We also had to do some additional. You could see some of those additional ones in the team page on the community site. And we're thinking about doing some of those as whitelisted NFTs, right? So maybe you subscribe to the newsletter and you get whitelisted for NFT, or based on different activity of using the protocol, you get a different NFT. More to come on that. Just wanted to kind of hint on that, that we're going to do some stuff for rewarding our community. And with that would be just like the diamond hands of some additional, rooms and involvement with the developers and direct communication channels and whatnot. On to some development. There's no issues or enhancements this week. Obviously, we're focusing on the Knox launch. In terms of the statistics, TVL is relatively unchanged, about 5% decrease in USD. Volume has decreased 30% week over week. However, now that we have statistics on all of the premiums and fees collected, with that increase in the IVOL surface that came off the end of December, we're starting to see higher levels of premiums being collected for liquidity providers and our staking users. In addition to that, about a month ago, I did a little update on VX Premia, a month looking back. So now this is 2 months looking back. So this is going to be a month-over-month comparison, but we're seeing good numbers across the board. Influence as a whole is up 43%. That means that people are locking up and locking up for longer, right? The VX Premia number of Premia moving to VX Premia at a 1-for-1 ratio is up 8.6%. So we're at around 5 million of the total Premia token circulating supply being locked up. That resulted in an average boost of around 30% and a 16% increase in holders. Now, we saw one day last week where Optimism was up to 600K in volume a day. That's a pretty remarkable stat. Hopefully we'll continue to see increased throughput on Optimism. And then the only other thing I have to report is, in terms of development updates, is the Solidity team has been powering through strike and maturity validation functions, exercise and settlement functions, and we continue to knock out some of the base layer and moving on to the vault layer here shortly. Again, like I said, we might be doing a phased approach, so that will kind of come into more of a play in about 2 weeks' time. I can explain what the outcome is after we're done focusing on the Knox release, but that's all I have for you guys.